Welcome back everyone to Tarvel's Perspective, and happy Donkey Kong December! I've been working with Pyr for a while now to celebrate gaming's greatest gorilla. So if you landed here after coming over from Designing For, hi. I need more friends, do you want to be one? Anyway, regardless why you're here, I'm about to banana slam you with my opinion on one of the greatest platformers on the Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong Country. Or I guess the Super Famicom in this case. I've already talked about my love for DKC in the top 10 SNES video. Go watch that too. But today, let's really sink our oddly human-like teeth into this one, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah, take that, Boomer! You'll never vote again! What an intro, eh? This game immediately and not so subtly tells you this ain't your daddy's Donkey Kong. This is the 90s, bitch. This is, of course, Cranky Kong, but people at the time knew him as the OG Donkey Kong from the arcade who fought against Mario.
Donkey Kong.
Hence the metal rafters he's standing on in the cutscene.
The Donkey Kong who fought that epic battle with Mario was this guy's grandfather.
That was a long time ago. What about this Donkey Kong? Does he get along with Mario?
And the DK we play as here is actually a brand new Donkey Kong. A younger, more spry ape with attitude. I mean, he's got a boombox and can actually afford to own real estate. You know this is the 90s. There's also been a long-standing theory that he's actually DK Jr. all grown up. But I don't buy it. DK Jr. was in Super Mario Kart, and then this DK was in Mario Kart 64. Yet no one else aged but him? Not only that, but they're both in Mario Tennis together. Why did I put any thought into this? Anyway, this new design for DK is one that would inevitably stick for decades, and I'm all about it. He wears a tie!
Yeah.
And has this little hair thing going on, which is actually a horrifying skull growth if we look at the Canadian-made Donkey Kong Country show, which is one of the most whacked out cartoons I've ever seen. Seriously, at one point DK loses his monkey mojo and becomes completely emasculated without the hair on his little danky dangler thing here, and it's just disturbing to see. And then later on we get gems like this.
I see bananas when I look in your eyes. I'd shower you with coconut cream pies.
Dude, DK, shut up, man. You can't say that on YTV. Okay, I got a little off track there, but it's just beyond words, really. I had to show some of it, but let's get back to it. Not shown in this intro at all, though, is a brand new character who also reeks of the decade, Diddy Kong. He's DK's
Little buddy.
A common trope for a while was to have a pipsqueak sidekick who looked up to the cooler and stronger counterpart. Sonic and Tails, The Tick and Arthur, and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
That is the last time you will ever refer to my mother's titties.
History shows, though, that Diddy became a lot more than just the faster, weaker version of DK, and has become quite the star in the video game pantheon. Dude got a driver's license. I like Diddy a lot, and if we ignore the fact that he had a brief stint of being an actual terrorist in Brawl, he's a pretty swell fella. Come on. Aside from the playable DK and Diddy, DKC introduces some other members of the Kong family. Well, I mean, I hope they're not, actually family. Otherwise, we got a real Game of Thrones situation here. First of all is Cranky, the old-timer who offers advice to DK through the game in each world, and lets him know vague hints as to how to uncover secret bonus rooms in various levels. Or at least that's how he's supposed to function. But sadly, due to a bug, no matter where you run into Cranky, he only gives hints about the first world. I've created my own headcanon, though, that it's just his senility kicking in, and he's really just losing his grip on reality.
What happened?
He's also a complete asshole and misogynist. Look at some of these things that rip out of his mouth. Can we just put this fossil in the museum or what? The other two are DK's girlfriend Candy and the coolest dude on the island with an incredible sense of fashion, Donkey Kong. Candy serves as the game's save point on the world map, and you can totally make her kiss your ass. And I do, every single time, because my sense of humor stopped developing at the age of 5. Candy will kiss that shitter like a banana fritter. Funky allows you to travel between all the worlds you've already accessed, which honestly isn't all that helpful in a first-time playthrough. However, it's been great for getting footage for this episode, so he's a content creator's dream.
God, I love that guy.
There's plenty of other new characters thrown in here as well, but I'll get to them. For now, let's jump into the story. Most of the lore is told in the instruction manual, complete with Cranky popping up all over it to yell at the reader. Really good stuff. I love it when the instruction manuals have this level of effort. It tells the story of DK asking Diddy to stay up alone in the middle of the night to guard his banana hoard, a cave full of yellow bananas and DK's most prized possession. Diddy of course gets blitzkrieged by the Kremling army, stuffed in a barrel, and tossed into the jungle as the reptiles loot that fruit. Cranky wakes up DK to shame him for being lazy and getting both his bananas and Diddy captured.
How you supposed to look after your family if you can't even look after yourself?
DK then ventures out to find his fellow, his yellow, and to turn those Kremlings to jello, baby. From there, Donkey Kong doesn't even waste time opening his goddamn front door and bursts into the first level like the Kool-Aid Man. This is Jungle Hijinks, one of the best first levels of any video game, period, for so many reasons. You get a good couple chunks of lore and world building due to the fact that you can go inside DK's house for a 1-up and somehow break through your door again and enter the Great Cave of Depression. This builds up the basic but long-standing characterization of DK himself. Lazy strong monkey who loves his nanners. Then as you walk a few feet, you can hear your captive sidekick screaming from inside his barrel. Set him free, and now the dynamic duo are finally together. Now you've got access to both of the game's playable characters. And while most of their moveset is identical, there are some subtle differences that make playing as either of them a unique experience. DK is bigger, which leads to a larger hitbox, but his strength allows him to take out larger enemies that Diddy would otherwise bounce off. He also has this slap, which is, I think, completely useless. Sure, you can use it to kill enemies, but it stops your momentum dead in your tracks, and there's always a much more fun option to dispatch the baddies. DK also holds barrels above his head before throwing them downward in an arc, protecting himself from above and allowing him to hit enemies and bosses from below much easier than Diddy can. But my favorite part of playing as DK is the thud that can be heard whenever he lands. Man, that impact just feels so powerful. Diddy is physically smaller, meaning he's less likely to get smacked with a tinier hitbox, and can move and jump a little faster and further than the big dog. He also carries barrels in front of himself, effectively protecting his front with a shield while running forward, and allowing him to find secrets easier that require a barrel to smash through. I'll fully admit, he's probably all around better than DK, and makes things a little bit easier. But I personally prefer playing as DK since I'm the kind of guy who would rather smash through a door than open it if I can. He just gets me.
Hey.
This wasn't always the case, mind you. As a kid, I would always just off myself as solo DK if there was no DK barrel around, just so I could play as Diddy. Nowadays, I give the Thai guy the respect he deserves. Regardless of which Kong you are, DK and Diddy can both do the basic stuff. Jump, climb, swim, run, and most importantly of all, roll and cartwheel. This move right here is why these games still hold up so well as platformers. On first glance, it doesn't seem like anything that flashy. You can roll forward to gain a bit of speed, then stop. Whoop-de-doo. But it's how it interacts with the levels and the enemies that take this game from decent to incredible. First off, if you roll or cartwheel into an enemy and it kills them, you follow through and gain a surge of momentum, which can stack if you do it through a line of enemies. And the level design knows this and embraces it. It feels so friggin' satisfying to plow your way through a line of enemies, end in a jump, and continue careening through the level feeling like a god. Now, knowing this, I'd like to jump back into why Jungle Hijinks is such an incredible first level. The enemies are laid out in a few places in just this fashion, allowing new players to figure out the best way to get through them, but also leaving it open to veterans of the game to just haul ass at top speed. It's easy to learn, difficult to master, but a blast to play either way. This is just one of the features of the forward Y attack though, and not even the best part. The more advanced technique of not only this game, but arguably the entire DKC SNES trilogy is the rolling jump. The Kongs can use their respective roll technique and hurl themselves off any ledge, and during this animation, they can perform a jump, effectively giving them much more horizontal range, or being able to self-correct in midair to land to safety. And while this is not mentioned at all in the instruction manual, Cranky does have a chance to tell you about this quote-unquote super jump. And if you figured out this technique, Jungle Hijinks will reward you handsomely. Using this super jump, you can scale the trees all along this top lane of the level like it's friggin' Emerald Hill. And all along these treetops, you'll be showered in 1-up balloons and safety. It feels so friggin' good, because a lot of these jumps are just barely within your range. Again, catering this first level to both new players and those who are more familiar with the gameplay mechanics is so impressive. Then there's Rambi. DK or Diddy can find different animal buddies throughout their adventure trapped in these crates. And if they should mount on top of them, they'll gain an extra hit and an all-new set of abilities. I always felt like they were a more fragile but more maneuverable ride armor for Mega Man X. No, shut up, Yoshi! Rambi is just pure full frontal muscle, plowing through all enemies with ease and any wall that leads to a secret room. Espresso the ostrich is mega fast and can slow your descent in an almost glide-like fashion. Winky the frog can get mad ups, and On Guard the swordfish can stab aquatic enemies and is the only means of offense underwater. Squawk sucks and can almost be considered a debuff since he's only in a single level and blinds you if you dare to change direction. Seriously though, why is Squawks' light needed in a level that is literally coated in flaming barrels? Here in the Jinx, the mechanics of the animal buddies, and Rambi specifically, are put on glorious display. Slaughtering any enemy that gets in your way as you barrel, no pun intended, towards the exit. Finding a few secrets along the way by skewering enemies and rock walls alike with your ivory sword. Such a fun power trip and a great way to cap off an incredible first level. But there's a bit more to this level than just the gameplay mechanics. A lot more. To me personally, for sure. Did you notice anything strange as the end of the level approached? Donkey Kong Country on more than one occasion has dynamic backgrounds, meaning as you reach certain points in some levels, the background will change and adjust. Not only that, but sometimes it coincides with the start of the next level. So good. It's such a small detail that doesn't affect how the game is played at all, but it undeniably sells this game as an atmospheric, immersive, and unforgettable, almost dreamlike adventure. Pair that with the music that's constantly swelling and adds instruments on top of each other gradually as you progress through the level, and the bubbling of feels that makes an imprint on you is such an incredible experience. This game just, oh man, it absorbs you. I always get completely enthralled by its beauty. Even just the animations have this surreal, smooth look. Combine that with the dynamic levels, the gorgeous art, multi-layered backgrounds scrolling and adjusting, and the magnum opus of a soundtrack, and you've got the perfect cocktail for an unforgettable and truly unique experience that sticks with players for life. I mean, I'm talking about this game damn near 30 years after its release, and I still get goosebumps thinking about it. And all the reasons I love this game always come barreling back, pun extremely intended, whenever I boot this up. The soundtrack, it's just nectar. It's diesel for the soul. It's timeless. It can get you through some hard shit. My favorite tracks being Aquatic Ambience, Gangplank Galleon, DK Island Swing, and Forest Frenzy. But the top track for my money has to be Fear Factory. After getting completely enthralled by all the natural settings like jungles, caves, temples, forests, snowy mountains, to so suddenly and abruptly end up in this mechanized industrial setting is so off-putting and jarring, and the Fear Factory track encompasses this perfectly. The constant beeping in the rhythm track giving you a sense of robotic lifelessness, combined with the main melody to represent DK and Diddy bravely making their way through it. Then this peaceful moment hits where the beeping stops, giving you a chance to breathe, then right back into the intensity. It's so fucking good! The bonus theme also slaps. Liam Triforce made an incredible video all about why the music of Donkey Kong Country is so magical. I highly suggest you check that out for more coherent thoughts than what I've got. Another thing that's infrequently brought up though is that the UI for the most part is non-existent. It stays out of your way to allow you to embrace the levels and gameplay for what they are. Art. Only when you pick up bananas or other collectibles does the UI pop in for a moment to show you your current total, and then after that it disappears. There's no health bar, no map, currency, nothing. It's you and the environment. It's so clean, and it feels so unbelievably refreshing compared to the frequent clutter of modern games. God, look at this. This just makes my eyeballs itch. I personally can't even stand when people put on closed captions in movies or TV. I find it incredibly distracting. They're absolutely great as an accessibility option, for sure, but I'm firmly and forever on Team Dubs. Eat it, weebs. Your quote-unquote health bar is just you and your little buddy. Anything and everything will kill you in one hit, no exceptions. If you have both Kongs with you, the other will take over, and the Kong who ate it will just take off. Funnily enough, they can still collect bananas as they sprint away? Guess they need to grab some snacks before they curl up into their next DK barrel. I think this first entry in the trilogy does the best job of fully embracing the environment and the theming. You really do feel at one with nature. All the settings are gorgeous, with the pairing sound soundtrack that can really take you away from your physical surroundings and bring you into nature. And no, this does not count as touching grass. Please go outside every now and again, okay? I'm worried about you. Treat your health better. You need to, and you know I'm right. However, it's still a serene, magical trek through some stunning vistas. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Even the world map is gorgeous to look at, and each level rests on a spot on the map that matches its own aesthetic. Such a nice touch. I haven't even mentioned the sprites of the Kongs and the enemies. It's common knowledge now that these are done by taking snapshots of 3D renders and spritifying them. But can I pull that off? Well, let's try it. Well, that became something. Some levels can also be downright terrifying, horror-esque nightmares. Stop and go station? Ugh, look at those eyes! Those horrible red eyes! And any other level where light isn't readily available, like Squawks' stupid level and Blackout Basement, especially when they start throwing claptraps at you out of nowhere, which this game has some kind of sick fetish for doing. Good God! This game isn't perfect though. I've got a few gripes. Firstly, the bonus rooms. While discovering them and playing them is fun, at first, there's pretty much no incentive to complete these, unlike in future titles. The only benefit is, well, lives. That's it. And while the game is hard, and for a new player, these life rewards are probably worth doing. As a vet of the series, most of the time when replaying DKC 1 specifically, I just blow right past them. If you find all the secrets in a level, the game adds an exclamation mark to the end of the level title on the map screen to confirm you fully completed the level. But there's pretty much no reward for doing this, aside from a fancy little 101% star next to your save file. Do this once to say you did it, then never do it again. The flow of the game is so much fun when trying to speedrun to the exits, trust me. Fun fact though, in any bonus room with barrels that do this, if you just mash B as fast as you can, you always win. You're welcome. The other kind of bonus room, however, is the animal buddy bonuses. If you collect 3 of these golden icons representing your beastly besties, you'll immediately get sent to their respective bonus level, where you have a short amount of time to gobble up as many of these icons as you can. There's even a hidden multiplier in each level which will double your current total, allowing you to really stack the lives up. But again, it's just for lives. That's it. They totally halt the action of the level and take you back to either the start or the checkpoint barrel. If you're hurting for lives, it's not a bad idea to do, but if you just want to get on with the show, I won't blame you for ignoring them. Ramby's also just sucks ass. Secondly, it's also kind of a bummer that there are so many freaking cave levels, and only one of my favorite levels, the Ice Cave. It has some absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, crystalline music to go in tandem with the breathtaking visuals of the background and foreground. And these assets were only used once? Surely we could have cooked up some more of this incredible blue crystal, no? A couple levels are just complete ass too. I won't get into them too much, but I'll give a couple examples. First, Oil Drum Alley. The level itself is great, but the sick thing is that it hides a bonus room in a bonus room. And it's so hard to get! You have to purposely line up the worst result, the single banana. And if you do, a barrel will spawn. You're supposed to use this to break the right-hand door. But if you pick it up and throw it, the victory animation plays and you can't go through it. You have to pick it up and run into the wall simultaneously in order to get this secret. It's insane. I don't think I ever would have gotten this without a guide. Stupid. So stupid. Poison Pond is also some serious bullshit. The fish can come at you so fast that no human could possibly react to these. Just a pure burn and learn level that is very frustrating. That said, I love the fact that the pollution in the water completely obstructs the background that we've seen in the other underwater levels. Again showing that the atmosphere in this game is always the top priority. Also, did anyone else used to think that these mincer enemies look like that dolphin from Banjo-Kazooie got stuck in a tire? No? Just me? Yeah, that makes sense. All the Kremlings and enemies are great. Sure, there are palette swaps, but they have a clear meaning. Like these green critters are walking. If you see a blue one, they walk and jump. So at least there's some justification to reusing these assets so often. They also just have the best sound effects. I mean, come on, who doesn't love this? That is unless you hate the way too real ass sound of teeth clacking together. My final gripe, however, is that the bosses are just a huge snore. They're just way too easy, especially compared to the levels that are required to beat to even reach them. They don't test you in any meaningful way. They have one basic pattern or attack, and once you learn that, you can easily clap them cheeks on them in less than a minute. The obvious exception, of course, being King K. Rool. Seeing this guy in the instruction manual as just a silhouette with a question mark over it gave me chills. It reminds me a lot of the feeling I used to get from Chaos on the Final Fantasy Bestiary poster. So menacing and mysterious. It didn't take much to wow me as a child, and it was beautiful. At the end of the game, you're finally able to board the Gangplank Galleon. And if you've been paying attention, every time you got through another area of DK Island, you could see it slowly approaching gradually in the background. Not sure why it's coming at the island. I kind of thought the game started with a raid from the ship, but maybe it dropped off the heist crew earlier and are coming to pick them up. That would explain why all the bosses are poorly guarding a huge chunk of DK's horde. Banana blockers. This boss fight is obviously the best of them all and is a great test of your abilities so far. K. Rool mixes up his jump patterns, the falling cannonballs require quick dodging, and the boss theme hypes you up as it builds from a jaunty sea shanty to K. Rool's gym playlist. A perfect hype builder for the final boss of the game. Once he goes down, that's the show. DK and Diddy have a real Two Stooges moment, and Cranky's dialogue and criticism change ever so slightly if you finish the game or got all the bonuses. That's really the only completion bonus. Weak. The full package though is anything but weak. It's magnificent. I know that last little bit was laying on the criticisms a bit hard, and I do stand by them, but I need to clarify that these nitpicks in no way hamper my opinion or make me any less likely to recommend this game to anyone. The game is rock solid, absolutely beautiful, and makes me feel like a funky bag of Candy's kisses on my crank. Okay, this metaphor got away from me. It just makes me happy. That's it. So for me, this game easily earns a spot in the S tier. Now before you guys go and I get to the outro, I want to show you something. This towel I got all the way back in 1994 when this game released. The local game rental place that I lived nearby was having a promotion where if you rented enough games, you got your name entered to win it in a draw. And by some miracle, I got it. It is insanely faded now. I don't even know if you could see it. I'll throw up a picture to try and, you know, make it more visible. But this is one of my oldest and most cherished pieces of video game merchandise from my childhood. And it just goes to show you, I've literally been a Donkey Kong fan my whole life. Anyway, I thought that was cool. I wanted to show you guys. Being able to be part of Donkey Kong December with Designing For and Pierre has been such an honor and so much fun. A lot of work, but totally worth every second. So from me to you, little buddy, my most heartfelt thank you, truly. And to everyone else who's made it this far into the video, you're pretty cool too. Why don't you stick around? Oh yeah, I don't have a Donkey Kong shirt. I was like literally going all over the place trying to find one. I got these Donkey Kong socks though. Oh God. Trust me, they look cool. Let's thank some patrons. As always, a huge shout out and thanks go to my supporters on Patreon. Despite my lack of consistency, you guys always show me love, and it forever fills me with determination. Huge shout out and thanks go to all those on screen, including James Cummings, Connor Binder, Elise Rococo, Redmond, and that guy again. I wish I could shower you all with coconut cream pie. If you want to support the show, you can head over to patreon.com/TarvaldsQuest and check out the various tiers and rewards, including having your name in these credits with a custom-made sprite emoji, or choosing a song in the next video game trivia episode. For those of you who don't know, I stream every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday night on twitch.tv/TarvaldsQuest. So be sure to head over there and drop a follow to know when I go live. And if you ever miss a stream, I have another channel here on YouTube called Tarvalds Quest VODs, where you can catch up on any playthrough you may have missed. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next quest. All right, Diddy, take it home.
Why did I use up my best material on this